She has been singing her way into our hearts for decades. And at an age where most people would be slowing down, Dolly Parton says she's really just getting started.
How can I slow down, I ask you?
The American icon, still working 9 to 5, and inspiring us all. What does that mean to you to know that there are so many who just look to you for inspiration and think, if Dolly could do it, I can?
Well, I like to think it means I've done my job well.
We sit down to talk with her about life, giving back, and her legacy on this hour-long special.
So to think that I'm still relevant and to think that I'm an inspiration and that somebody thinks that I've done something that has guided them in any way, it humbles me.
All Things Dolly. Well, welcome to our special All Things Dolly. Good evening to you, everyone. I'm Taylor Eaton, and we're so glad to have you joining us tonight. When I say the name Dolly Parton, you probably think singer, songwriter, actress, businesswoman, philanthropist. That list goes on. She has a mega career and has played stages like this all over the world, and quite the legacy. But so many know Dolly for more than just her work. They know her for her heart. She always talks about how she just wants the world to be at a better place and strives every day to leave her mark. And one of the ways she does that is through Imagination Library. It's a program she started in honor of her dad, and something that brought her to tears when I sat down with the living legend one-on-one. Another title that you love dearly is being known as the book lady. Imagination Library, hard to believe we're almost at 200 million books that have touched children's lives. What do you think your dad would say today to hear that?
You know what? My dad was so proud even before it even got to there. He got to see it doing really good up here and to when it went all over Tennessee. He died shortly, after that. But I think he just, I just think he just want to hug me, as his little girl. And also for the fact that this has meant so much to so many people. And that I did it for him. Whew, sorry.
We don't get to see you cry often, but I think that shows you just how much your faith and your family mean to you.
Oh, they mean everything. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not sorry I love them. I'm just sorry I'm going to mess up my makeup.
Well, that was just a little bit of our interview with Dolly. You'll have to stay tuned for the full thing because coming up, you're going to be treated to a little performance. She's going to sing a little bit of a song from her new album. She's also going to be talking with us a little bit more about Imagination Library. It helps so many children, and that includes probably some of your own. And we'll talk with her about still being an inspiration for so many. Listen, we know Dolly always chases her dreams, so she inspires us to do that very same thing. But you can see there, Dolly always brings a smile to our face. She puts a laugh in our hearts. And something else that's been doing that for 37 years is her beloved theme park, Dollywood. She was there for the park's opening and had a chance to talk about some of the new things you're going to see. That's also going to be in our interview with her in just a few minutes. But you always know when the Dreamer-in-Chief is in town. There's just a different feeling in that Smoky Mountain air when Dolly is in town. Dolly! You know it's opening day at Dollywood when the rest of the park goes silent. And all you hear Dolly, 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 are the cheers of those excited to see the national treasure return home. A grand parade with Dolly riding through the streets of Dollywood, decked out in pink in her classic DeWitt. And an appearance for the park's pass holders to kick off the 37th year.
And it just feels good, speaking of standing, of just standing on this stage again. In fact, it has been more than 2 years since we've been together. I've missed being with you, and I've missed being here.
The Dreamer-in-Chief letting them know what's new at the park and what she's still dreaming up. And you'll hear more about that from Dolly herself when she sits down with me here in just a few minutes. And even more than her music, Dolly is known for her generosity and her desire to help others and make the world a better place. She often says that she is addicted to that feeling of doing good. And a perfect example of that is up next as she fulfills the lifelong dream of a little girl from West Virginia. Meeting Dolly Parton is something 10-year-old Jaden Green always dreamed of.
She has loved Dolly since she was little. It was just a kind of a natural attraction, and she adores her.
Her grandmother says It is so much more than just the stardom that attracts this little girl from West Virginia to her role model from the mountains of East Tennessee.
She just loves Dolly's heart. She loves what Dolly is all about. Here this week, while we were in the elevator, Jaden saw a sign that said, "Be more." It was Dolly's wish for people to be more. And Jaden said, "You know, Dolly makes me want to be more."
Dolly has even gotten Jaden through some of life's hardest times.
Jaden has had some traumatic experiences in her life. And in the movie Coat of Many Colors, Dolly talks about when her brother passed away, she stopped singing. And when Jaden has had some traumatic experiences, she stopped singing. She would sing all the time. And she told the school counselor that the reason she stopped singing is because the song inside of her was gone, just like Dolly.
But see, there's this thing about Dolly and dreams. She always has a way of making them come true.
But I'm happy to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Jaden finally meeting Dolly face to face.
I wanted to look at Dolly, but I couldn't look at Dolly for wanting to look at Jaden and her reaction. And it was just like an aura of just light in the room. You know, at the end, Jaden was holding back the tears. I think she was just overcome by seeing someone that she loved so much be the person that she really thought that she was.
The experience through the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
It's everything that you thought it would be and more.
Everything and more. Yes, I'm so happy for Jaden, and I know that she will never forget this time.
An extremely personal encounter. Just Dolly, the families, and moments that won't be forgotten. And Jaden hopes Dolly won't forget it either.
She took 2 pictures that were very, very special. They were based off of an interview that Dolly had did, where someone asked her about what got her through her tough times, because Dolly is so good to help other people during their tough times. So the interview was based on what helps you, Dolly? And so the pictures were based on what Dolly said in the interview. The roots, it was a tree, and the leaves were colorful, symbolic of the coat of many colors. And the roots of the tree had phrases that Dolly had spoken during the interview. And the other gift that she took her were a pair of purple, had to be purple, earrings. Jaden knew that Dolly loves purple. The bottom of the earring was made of a guitar pick, and it had a butterfly on it. So Jaden was thrilled.
As for her grandmother, well, she says she truly couldn't have handpicked a better inspiration for Jaden, and hopes this meeting will keep inspiring her granddaughter to be, as Dolly says, a diamond in a rhinestone world.
To have experienced meeting her in person and seeing the true heart that Dolly has, I'm happy if Jaden continues to look to her as a role model.
All right, just a little interesting note for you. The woman who actually made Jaden's coat of many colors that Dolly signed in that story, well, she used to live in Mason County, West Virginia, and now works in the costume department at Dollywood. How fun is that? All right, well, I too, like Jaden, have always looked at Dolly as an inspiration, and interviewing her is something I never thought would happen, but it's a moment I will never forget, and I cannot wait to share it with you. She's going to share some words of wisdom, we know those as Dollyisms, sing a little bit of one of her songs from her new album, and she knows she has a lot of fans here at home, so she has a little shout out. My sit down with the one and only Dolly Parton is up next. I think one of the biggest questions I got asked when I returned from this interview was, is Dolly really the way that we think she is? My answer simply is yes, she is that and more. And I am so excited to now share with you my one-on-one interview with the queen of country music as we talk all things Dolly. Well, Dolly, I have to say this is a treat. I never thought this day would come, but here it is. And you are fabulous. We love you. And we're so excited to have you back. 37 years of Dollywood. Hard to believe, but it's been a few years since we've seen you. We've missed you.
I know, I missed the park, and I missed you too. I mean, it was amazing this morning when the COVID really hit. We were already up here and in place. We were just about to do a press conference, and then they shut the park down, and they said, get back on your bus, go to Nashville. So this is the first time we've been back to, greet the people at Dollywood, although Dollywood went on, and we followed all the precautions, but it's the first time I've been back to do it. So it felt so great to see the fans and be back at the park, see all the new additions and all that. going so good.
Well, they were super excited to see you. You are the dreamer in chief. That is what we know you as. As far as the park goes, I mean, what do you see for the future? What do you have planned for families to enjoy? Because you keep families coming back every year, year after year.
Well, we try to expand every year to either expand an area that we've already got that was so popular we needed to make it better, or to add more things to it. And we add new festivals and special things like the the Flowers and Food Festival, because we started something new, because we used to do the people come from all over the world
Right.
to do that. We couldn't do that after COVID hit, so it's made us rethink, that mother of invention, so to speak. So anyhow, we're just adding new things. We've got a new hotel we're really excited about, the Heart Song Lodge, and so that's going to be open next fall. And then we're just adding new things as we go all the time for the betterment of the fun for the family.
You don't stop. 2022 has already been busy for you. Your newest endeavor is your collaboration with James Patterson, Run, Rose, Run. On the album, do you have a lyric in particular that speaks to you? We got treated today to Big Dreams and Faded Jeans, but
Yeah.
any lyric that speaks to you?
There's another one that I love a lot. It's about these two strong women in the one young, one older. But anyway, it's called Woman Up and Take It Like a Man. It's like, woman up and take it like a man. You're like, buckle up, be strong enough to take control and make demands. You gotta look like a woman, think like a man, be as good as or better than. You gotta woman up and take it like a man. And I got all the girls singing on it. So there's a lot of good songs in it, though, that I really like. And I tried to use my voice and my attitude in a lot of songs, like Dark Night, Bright Future, which kind of covered all the things we've been through, but it could cover any subject, whether you've been a drunk, an addict, or whatever. It's like there's hope for everybody. So all the songs really have a good message in them.
Well, what a treat that was to hear you sing just now. But Woman Up and Take It Like a Man leads me into my next question, because I think that is a song for women all across the world. It really is. But you captivate young generations to this day. There are so many young girls. I know one who gets to meet you tomorrow, and she always said it was her dream to meet Dolly. She wants to be Dolly. To you now, to hear that, what does that mean to you to know that there are so many who just look to you for inspiration and think, if Dolly could do it, I can?
Well, I like to think it means I've done my job well. And I used to pray, that I would be meaningful in the business, that I would matter when I was older. Wondered what people would say about me, if I made it when I'm my age now. I used to think, wondered what it would be. So to think that I'm still relevant, and to think that I'm an inspiration, and that somebody thinks that I've done something that has guided them in any way, it humbles me most of all. And it makes me feel proud, that I've been able to, to leave that kind of legacy behind.
Well, you have. I was one of those little girls in Appalachia that always said that I wanted to be like Dolly when I grew up. So this is an honor. I have to ask you, though, before we go, another title that you love dearly is being known as the Book Lady. Imagination Library. Hard to believe we're almost at 200 million books that have touched children's lives. What do you think your dad would say today to
You
hear
know
that?
what? My dad was so proud even before it even got to there. He got to see it doing really good up here, and to when it went all over Tennessee. He died shortly, after that. But I think he's just, I just think he just want to hug me, as his little girl, and also for the fact that this has meant so much to so many people, and that I did it for him. Whew, sorry.
We don't get to see you cry often, but I think that shows you just how much your faith and your family mean to you.
Oh, they mean everything. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not sorry I love them. I'm just sorry I'm going to mess up my makeup.
Well, you look perfect as always. It has been a treat, a joy. Dolly, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. I can't say thank you enough.
Oh, can I say something?
Well, sure.
My hairdresser, Cheryl Riddle, is from Charleston, where you're from.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say that I wanted to shout out to her, right? You're from Charleston,
Yes.
West Virginia, right?
Well, now you have to make a trip.
I will.
You have to come to the studio.
Then I'll make Cheryl bring me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cheryl, we're making it a date, okay?
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
Well,
Thank
Dolly,
you.
I hope this is not the last time that we get to see you.
Oh, well, it won't be.
Oh,
I'll
well,
see
good.
you again.
Boy, sitting down with Dolly is just good for the soul. That is something I will remember for the rest of my life. But imagine having Dolly Parton be your boss. Well, it is something that the president of Dollywood, Eugene Naughton, says isn't forgotten on anyone that works at the park. Do you feel like you have the best boss in the world?
I do. I do. And it sort of, you were talking to me a little bit about you sitting down and talking
Yes.
with her, how sometimes you have to forget that you're actually side by side with Dolly Parton.
Absolutely.
You know, but
Cheryl, we're making a
I have to
date,
tell
okay?
you, she's the most genuine and easy person
Well,
to
Dolly, I hope
work with and talk about and to dream big with. And it's been a lot of fun for me in the short amount of time that I've been working at the Dollywood company. I joined in 2019. Really funny time in the world. I wouldn't have wanted to go through this with anyone else but Dolly Parton.
So tell us what is new for the park.
Yeah, I mean, it's you think about her and everything that she represents and as our dreamer in chief. And the next 10 years, we announced a $500 million investment. And a big part of that is leveraging our hospitality area. We have 140 acres actually master planned for not just one or two resorts. We're opening the Heart Song and Lodge in September of 2023. But we have master planned 5 resorts for our campus. And for me, it's the perfect opportunity to leverage being in this beautiful town in Pigeon Forge and our partners in Gatlinburg and the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. 14 million people a year are inbound into our town to take advantage of the beautiful mountains that you see around us. And it just makes sense. People love Dolly Parton and they want to feed into her story. And our resorts give us a perfect chance to lean into her life and her legacy for Sevier County and for her hometown and everything that she's represented. You know, she's written 3,000 songs about her life in the Smoky Mountains. She comes here to be refreshed and to feel, alive again. And it's really fun for me to have her back because it's been a couple of tough years, and she'll mention to you that it's like a new beginning, a rebirth, and it's been a lot of fun for me.
Any plans maybe for some future expansion that you could share with us for the park?
It's a really, really exciting time for Dollywood Parks and Resorts. In the fall, we're going to be announcing a really large attraction that will come to the park and open in 2023. So just seeding that as what's coming in. A whole nother resort opening in the fall of 23. But we have a detailed master plan for the next 10 years. So I know what we're doing in 2030. So every year we'll be able to chat about it.
What do you think it is year after year that brings them back, that this is the destination that they choose above all others?
Our parent company, Hershen Family Entertainment, and Dolly have a partnership for 37 years. And I think what really makes the difference here is Hershen's focus on making memories worth repeating. We talk about that a lot as our vision and mission and the values that we have on making sure that we have family fortifying experiences on property.
She blew me a kiss.
And Dollywood's a tradition for many families. Just look forward to seeing everyone out on park this year.
Up next here on All Things Dolly, we're going to start our tour of all the fun things that are happening. There's a favorite returning this year. It is called the Gazillion Bubble Show, and we're going to let Dolly introduce you to that one. Well, Dolly just mentioned everything in the works at the park, so now we're going to take a look at some of those things that are happening for you and your family this year in the years to come.
Wouldn't it be fun if she could put me in a bubble?
Yeah, come on over here.
Well, certainly,
All
we
right.
know that I have not been living in a bubble lately, right? As much as I've
You're
been
going to
doing.
stand right there,
Right
okay,
here?
Dolly?
Okay.
All right.
Y'all pray for me.
Don't move, all right? Here we go. 1,
Don't mess
2.
up my hair.
One more time. Here we go. 1 second.
Ow.
Careful.
The Gazillion Bubble Show back as part of the Smoky Mountain Summer Celebration at Dollywood. And I talked with Melody Yang, who you saw there, about why this show is so special for the entire family. The Gazillion Bubble Show is always so popular at Dollywood, and I know families have missed it for a few years, but it's back. Bubbles are always a fun thing for kids, but you make it really fun for them with the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bubbles is for everyone. It's not just for kids. I think it's just the memory that everyone has when they're young. Every time they see a bubble, it's something that's so strange in the air, that's floating. And it's a childhood memory that even adults enjoy too.
Okay, well, Melody, when you are on stage, it is like a work of art. It is captivating. Tell us about what we are seeing during the show.
We have different forms of art with bubbles. We do square bubbles, smoke bubbles, bubbles inside bubbles. We put people inside bubbles. And when the show comes here, we're going to have the entire theater filled with bubbles. So everyone will get a chance to pop bubbles.
What is the reaction when families come in year after year? And I know we haven't seen it for a few years, but what is that reaction as they come in and they watch this?
I think the reaction is it's an innocent and honest reaction of just happiness, from everyone, and from parents seeing their kids happy, kids seeing their parents happy. So it's positive energy all around.
I've seen video and it's really cool. At one point during the show, it looks like the lights go down and we're seeing things lighting up. I mean, you're stepping this one up. I mean, this just isn't a regular bubble show.
No, it's not. I would say it's like a rock concert for kids.
Love that.
But we have laser lights, and we do a segment towards the end of the show where we're manipulating laser lights, and there's bubbles everywhere. And it looks really cool because when the laser lights and the bubbles mix together, it looks like there's sparkles everywhere. So it's pretty spectacular.
Okay.
We always remember Dollywood, and not even that. I think it's just the atmosphere here, the air here. It's a lot of it has to do with the people. They love the show so much, and we asked them, why did you come so many times? And they even said, they're like, every time we come, it's different. Every time, it's just a different atmosphere. Everyone's happy, but in different ways. Something always comes up. The kids will say something funny on stage, and you remember these things.
There's also plenty of live music and entertainment at the park. While you're there, you're likely going to hear the bluegrass music from Smoky Mountain String Band. And one of the members is from West Virginia. She's going to explain to you why country roads ended up leading her to the Smokies when we return to our special All Things Dolly.
The Smoky Mountain String Band.
The Smoky Mountain String Band is pretty much made up of the Appalachian Mountains. We do songs about the Appalachian Mountains, bluegrass songs, kind of folk songs. We just kind of mix up the genre a little bit and just have fun with it. I am from, actually, it's called Three Forks, West Virginia, but it's the nearest town is Jolo, West Virginia. It's right on the West Virginia line. It's just a very low population. So I decided to move here to Tennessee. My brother, he lives down here too, and then the job came open at Dollywood, and I was really thrilled to hear, so I immediately took the jobs. You see unique people. Each crowd is different, and they're a lot of fun. And Dollywood is one of the greatest places that I've ever worked. So they got us moving around quite a bit this year, but we'll be around.
From the entertainment now at Dollywood to some of the attractions, one of the most iconic sounds that you will hear around the park is the whistle of that train, Dollywood Express, as it rolls through. And for the first time, they have a female train engineer, and we got to catch up with her.
And I'm the engineer, first female engineer here at Dollywood.
All right, you just said it, first female engineer here at Dollywood. Wow, what a title to have. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm pretty proud of it.
Was this always a dream of yours?
No, actually no. The odd thing is I come from medical. I'm a neurodiagnostic technologist, and here I am now, an engineer 3 years into it.
Okay, I guess what does it take to become the first female engineer?
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And a lot of forgiveness from these guys.
How fun has it been, though, to take on that first title?
It has been a blast, an absolute blast. I've had a great time with it. I couldn't have a more fun job here at Dollywood.
Do you feel like maybe you're paving the way here in a sense?
I hope so. I want to be a great role model for other females, young, older. If they want to get into this, they got my support.
What made you want to do this?
Came here just for a season, and I interviewed for Zipline, and that's what I wanted. And the guy interviewing me said, well, let's try the train. I'm like, no, I don't want to do the train. He's like, yeah, let's do the train. Well, he's like, I'll tell you what, try it for 2 weeks. If you don't like it, we'll move you. Sure. I come up here one day, I'm in love with it.
I'm assuming you grew up coming to Dollywood.
I did. We had season passes every year. My family were coaster junkies, and that's where we stayed. So we didn't travel up this way in the village much for the train.
And I thought it was funny because you said being the first female, that they even had to find a pair of bibs for you.
Yes, yes, these are actually guys. The smallest they make in guys. So, yeah.
Okay, well you are the first female in this position, but I'm thinking that you are hoping that you are not the last, that you're trying to pave a way here for maybe young girls that see you in this and think, ooh, maybe that's something I want to do.
Absolutely. I love to inspire them and encourage them. Come on.
I do think it's funny, though, that you trade in your scrubs for a pair of bibs to come here and do this.
Absolutely. My white lab coat for this. Come up and say hi. We love to talk to you. We love for guests to come up to the gate there and talk to us.
When it comes to Dollywood dining, there's those staples that you always think of, and they always get Dolly's stamp of approval. We're going to take you behind the scenes with a look at how some of those items are made and have you living the life of a pirate at one of the 3 dinner shows when All Things Dolly returns. While you and your family are planning your visit to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, there are plenty of great places for you to eat during your vacation, but there's a few where you are going to get a little entertainment with your dinner. There are 3 dinner shows here in Pigeon Forge. You've got the Hatfield-McCoy Feud, you've got Dolly Stampede, and then you've got Pirate's Voyage, and that is what we are checking out for you today. And I'm going to leave all the explaining up to Captain Blackbeard. He knows everything when it comes to Pirate's Voyage, so let's go ahead and go in. We want to go straight to the person who knows all about it, and that is Captain Blackbeard. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
Thank you so much for joining us. This is a really fun show. For families who come out to watch this, tell us what we are going to see. It is spectacular.
Well, we like to think is once we invite you to join us in the lagoon, you are going to live the life of a pirate for a day. We'll invite you to enjoy the crew. You'll see entertainment. You'll see the pirates performing, swinging, diving, acrobatics, sword fighting. Of course, we have animals. We've got duck diving dogs. We've got running ducks. And of course, this is the only venue anywhere near that you can see a sea lion, one of my favorite parts. But, you know, I get to stand there and look handsome and just talk. So, can't complain about that.
What I love about this show, there's so much crowd involvement.
Yes.
You really get the crowd involved in this one.
Oh yes, it is, you are living the life. You are part of the crew. We invite you to take part. And if you don't, we'll sort of encourage you to. Again, come be a pirate, yell, scream, have a good time, feast. Join the adventure, I say. We have had our guests say that there's so much going on at times, you get so involved with it that you almost have to see it twice because there's so much action and adventure and swashbuckling and swinging on ropes and sword fighting and diving and animals over, all of that going on. Sometimes you may have to see it more than once to be able to catch everything that's going on.
So that's what you love. Come back not once, twice, bring the family and keep coming back time and time again.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for. So, and we've done quite well. So we're thoroughly enjoying it here in Tennessee. You know, a pirate wandering the seas in Myrtle Beach and suddenly finds himself in the mountains. But
how did you end up here?
It's a happy. I'm very lucky, very happy to be here. So yes, sort of the seas and the winds shifted this direction, and suddenly I found myself high in the hills. But I don't mind it at all.
Well, I'm glad that those have taken us here too and allowed us to experience this show. Captain Blackbeard, thank you so much for talking with us and for letting us experience this. It was really a treat.
Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed yourself this evening. And
I did.
Everyone, come and join us soon.
We'll be back
you will
again.
not be disappointed.
Well, hope you enjoyed that. That is a lot of fun. But you can't go to Dollywood without stopping by the grist mill and getting a loaf or 2 or 3 or maybe even more of the cinnamon bread. It is delicious. It is one of the most sought after foods in the park. And this is a little behind the scenes video showing you how it's made. Pretty simple process, but the results, well, there is nothing like it. And you can even find the recipe when you visit Dollywood. And when you order it, you can get it with or without an icing cup. My recommendation, eat it with the icing. If only they could ship it to us. But hey, that's just another reason why you have to go and visit. Now, another favorite and top seller at the park is the potato candy. And one of the candy makers is taking us behind the scenes to show us how it's made.
Hi, I'm Verlee, and I'm one of the candy makers here at Dollywood. I was in Dollywood for 11 years before I knew about potato candy, so it's definitely a treat. It's really good. Well, it's a regional candy. It's an Appalachian candy that the poor people used to make for their children if they had some leftover potatoes after they ate. And it was just potatoes and sugar and peanut butter. That's it. You don't taste the potato, and the potato is strictly a starch to hold the sugar together. And then they would roll it out and spread peanut butter in it and roll it up into a log and then cut it off. But it was at that time, that was a really cheap candy for children. It's very sweet, but then you also have the peanut butter that cuts a lot of the sweetness. It's a perfect combination. It really is.
With every season at Dollywood comes a festival, from flower and food in the spring to the Smoky Mountain Christmas in the winter. There are those unique experiences that you will only get in the Smokies and at Dollywood. And as you'll see when we come back, there are some new things with each one of the festivals this year. All right, Ellen, so we have heard from Dolly herself that there are going to be plenty of festivals for families to enjoy throughout the year here at Dollywood, even some expansions when it comes to those festivals, some additional things for families to enjoy.
So for our Flower and Food Festival, which opens at the end of April, I'm so excited about not just seeing my favorite mosaic sculptures, which are the bears made out of flowers, friendly bears, and Dolly's mom sewing the coat of many colors, being helped by some floral butterflies, just breathtaking. We're adding 3 this year, a peacock, a duck, and I think the one I'm looking most forward to is a beekeeper with the beehive and the bees been around, all made out of flowers. And that's just the flower part of Flower and Food. I've heard almost an all brand new menu for the festival part.
You know what I really love too about that festival, Ellen, and I think it's a very picturesque spot. I think it's very Instagram worthy, is the umbrella sky. Walking through that, it is so picturesque.
Umbrella sky is just one of those things that I think if you could think it up and have it in your backyard, you would be like, this is the most fun, picturesque spot. And you know, when Dolly gets involved in dreams and our festivals, that's the kind of things that we come up with. When it comes to the Smoky Mountain Summer Celebration, you may see kites instead of umbrellas. We've got some new water areas that are going to be so much fun. I can't tell you exactly what they're going to be. You're just going to have to come see it for yourself. And then the bubble show is back, the gazillion bubbles. And now that Dolly's been in a bubble, people are gonna have to come see what it looks like for someone to be in a giant bubble, and then the gazillion other bubbles that join it, and that literally is just part of the fun. I'm ready for summer.
Okay, Ellen, Great Pumpkin Luminites. That is always a staple around Halloween time. And I think there's some additions with that too this year that we're going to see, maybe some new exhibits to take pictures in front of.
With Great Pumpkin Luminites, so many areas of the park just become aglow with pumpkins and light sculptures and different things. My favorite thing has been Mystery Mine. It may be supplanted this year by Hoot Owl Hollow, which is going to become Craftsman's Valley's theme. And then, of course, we have such great music during Harvest Festival, as well as visiting craftsmen and some great harvest food. It's just a win-win.
When I think Christmas, I think of the Smokies, and I think of being at Dollywood.
So we are the only winner of Best Christmas Event at a theme park of all our competition around the world at theme parks. And we think that it really becomes like a magic place in the mountains. And really, that's what Dollywood is at our Smoky Mountain Christmas Festival. And of course, Santa, always the best part of any Christmas.
The one thing I love about Dollywood, it is so family oriented, and that is why these festivals do so well. People love them, they look forward to them, but it truly is something for the entire family, no matter what time of year that it is.
Absolutely. One of the things that families can enjoy when they come to Dollywood, it is the rides, it is the shows, it is the great festivals and the food, but it's about being together. And because there's so many different options, you can stay together and do different things and take home memories that are going to last long beyond your visit.
Thank you very much. Well, if you're looking for some additional thrills in the hills when you visit Dollywood, look no further than Splash Country. And as Amber Davis will tell you, they have some new things in the works this year, even some new attractions for those really little ones at the water park.
2, 3, go!
Amber, let's talk Splash Country. Not open yet, going to open in May for families to enjoy. How many seasons is this?
22.
For families who may have come and visit Dollywood before but have never experienced the water park, what do you have there?
Our water park really is a great part of the Dollywood brand. I mean, that's what we love, is Dollywood has grown and grown and grown, and really if you're here in the summer, you need to visit our water park. It's one of the most beautiful water parks anywhere. It actually was named one of the most beautiful water parks. So we love that, and we love to tell people that you walk in and it's a mountain oasis. It really is something that you don't find. You typically think, concrete jungle and towers with slides. Our water park is really nestled into the foothills, into a mountain hollow actually. And you really kind of have to look around every corner, because if you don't look closely, you actually easily miss attractions because they're really tucked behind trees. That's one thing I love to tell people, is we have natural shade because we're in the mountains, and with being our 22nd season, we're established. We have those established trees. So yes, we have shade structures, but we also have trees everywhere, which is really kind of unique and really special to water park. But we have, the something for everyone in the family. From mild to wild, we've got it. Go!
How many attractions do you have there, slides altogether?
Yes, we have 16 attractions and more than 32 slides. So, lots to do. We have, family tubes. You can go down together. We have the double tubes you can take. You can do body slides. We've got, of course, the wave pool and the lazy river. We have a water coaster. We have lots of interactive elements for kids. This year we're very excited. We're going to be opening a new children's play area that's really targeted to the young families. We do open in mid-May, so again, always check the calendar, May 14th this year, and we are open through Labor Day. So it's a good season. Here in the mountains, people aren't sure when we're open, but May 14th this year, usually mid-May through Labor Day. And we do offer ticket packages where your room includes the water park. If you love the water, you're going to find a lot to enjoy at Dollywood Splash Country.
Well, from the Dolly Parton suite to her 100-year song, there are touches of Dolly basically at every corner of Dreamworld Resort. And up next, Jen Webb from Dollywood will join us to talk about what you will see when you're a guest of Dolly's at the resort. Well, everyone, one of the treasures here in Pigeon Forge when you come to visit Dollywood is Dreamworld Resort. It's a beautiful place for you and your family to stay. And we had to start here at the Wall of Dolly with Miss Jen Webb to talk about all things Dolly, but also talk about Dreamworld. Jen, all the years of Dolly here.
Yes, this is
many of them.
Yes, this is the album wall, and this isn't even all of the albums. We switch them out occasionally because Dolly has way too many songs to count. So this is just a few of her albums. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. We get lots of pictures taken here. People really, really love it. All through the years, really, kind of starting with Hello, I'm Dolly and working our way down. She's had some albums more recently that aren't on here, but it's absolutely amazing. I love Halo and Horns, Heart Songs. Heart Song is where the name came from for our new resort that's coming in 2023. So that's where that came from. But yeah, it's just an absolutely incredible wall full of Dolly, the Dolly album wall, as we call it.
Yes, well, you mentioned it is an iconic picture spot. You're going to find a lot of pictures probably on Instagram or Facebook of a lot of families who have taken pictures here. Jen, another treat though for families, and that's what we're walking to, is Dolly's 100-year song. It's going to be released on her 100th birthday.
Yes.
We don't know a lot about it, but we do know it's in here.
We do. So this case over here, this is Dolly's Dream Box, and this is something you're only going to find here at the resort. It's got security on it. It's kind of a big deal, kind of like Dolly is. So you're going to see a plank from her original Tennessee Mountain home. That's from her house up in Locust Ridge, where she was raised. And then in the wooden box, we've got a song that only Dolly knows the contents of. It's her legacy song, as she's calling it. It's going to be released on her 100th birthday. And it's in all kinds of different forms, because who knows what kind of form, music is going to be able to be played in on her 100th birthday. So we're really excited to be able to open that. Dolly will still be around on her 100th birthday.
Yes, she will, yes. Okay, so Jen, we've talked about a few touches of Dolly, and I know another one is the special Dolly suite. And I know we got to take a look at that last time. It's everything that you think it would be. Pink, purple, all things sparkle.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes, the shower has a gold floor. I mean, it's very, very much Dolly. A pink rug. This is an absolutely beautiful suite. I wish I could stay in that bath with a TV. It's got a standing bathtub. I mean, if you picture Dolly's house, that's what you would think of.
Well, throughout the years, Dolly has taught us all to just pour ourselves a cup of ambition each day and reach for the stars when it comes to our dreams. And Dolly once wrote in a song, "I will always love you," but I think it's clear to see why the world will always love her. And before we close the curtains on this special, we want to show you some fun little Dolly moments from behind the scenes. Thank you for joining us for our special All Things Dolly. Good night, everyone.
She blew me a kiss. Look. Right here. But why didn't she wear that earlier? We could have matched.
It's like, woman up and take it like a man. You're like, buckle up, be strong enough to take control and make demands. You gotta look like a woman, think like a man, be as good as or better than. You gotta woman up and take it like a man. And I used to pray, that I would be meaningful in the business, that I would matter when I was older. Wondered what people would say about me, if I made it. When I'm my age now, I used to wonder what would be. So to think that I'm still relevant, and to think that I'm an inspiration, and that somebody thinks that I've done something that has guided them in any way, it humbles me most of all. And it makes me feel proud, that I've been able to, to leave that kind of legacy behind.